Hello Denverites, potential future Denverites, or just beautiful people all over the world watch this video wherever you are. Welcome to Things to Know, Places to Go, Westminster edition in Denver, Colorado. If you're new to this channel or this video series, Things to Know, Places to Go, my name is Torrey Drake. I'm a Denver realtor and I break down a community in Denver and give you all the things I think you should know about this community. And then I give you 3 places to go in terms of my favorite local coffee shop, local food spot, and local thing to do, all in the community today. Once again, it's Westminster. Oh yeah, and then after the things to know, places to go, then I top it off with some real estate fast facts so you can be a real estate expert in the communities in Denver. Once again, my name is Torrey Drake. I'm a local Denver realtor. Before we get to things to know, let's talk about where Westminster is. And before we actually get to that, let's talk about where the heck am I? I am in downtown Westminster, which doesn't really exist currently, but we're gonna get to that in a moment actually. Oh yeah, where is Westminster? It is northwest of downtown Denver. And that brings us perfectly into thing to know number 1. You can see where it is on a map. But let's give it some context. Northwest of Denver, you're about 30 minutes, 20 to 25, 30 minutes from downtown Denver, about 25 to 30 minutes from Boulder, and about 30 minutes from the mountains. Which makes it quite ideal if you want access to Denver, you want access to Boulder, you want access to the mountains, but you don't want to pay the prices for those areas, because Boulder, being in Boulder and in Denver and in mountains is more expensive than Westminster is. Now, I never really give these videos average prices because that becomes outdated in like a week, let alone if you watch this in a couple of years. So if you want up-to-date average prices for the Westminster area, drop me a comment below. I'll give you up-to-date information. Let me know if you're looking for condos, townhomes, single-family homes, or everything, and I'll give you that. But yeah, Westminster is, as of the recording of this video, not cheap by any means, but more affordable than actually being in Denver, in Boulder, in the mountains. But because you're in between all of them, you have really easy access to go and do all the fun things in all those areas, but not pay those prices. And because of that, Westminster is really popular for people who work in Denver, work in Boulder, or work in the mountains, but once again, don't want to pay those prices because it's a really good location for that. Oh, and something I want to throw into the things to know for Westminster is that you have access to a ton of convenient freeways. The freeways run right up to Westminster. You have a lot of main roads there as well for getting around, but that's a double-edged sword because number 1 is convenient for you to get to Boulder, for you to get to Denver, for you to get to the mountains, which is why people like living in Westminster, is you have easy access to everything, and that easy access is doubled by the fact you have freeways nearby. But the double-edged sword to that is that brings in more traffic. So you do have more traffic going through Westminster most of the time. Which brings me to thing to know number 2 is that because you are closer to the mountains, good news, you have beautiful mountain views. You can't see it at all in the video right now, but behind me here is really, really pretty mountain. That's beautiful in person, but you can't see it on video. So it's got to get here to see it. But so bonus, yeah, you get beautiful mountain views, but because you're closer to the mountains, that means the weather here is pretty temperamental. When you're close to the mountains, the weather can fluctuate up to 30 to 40 degrees in a single frickin' day. Is that normal? No, but can it happen? Yeah, it can happen. It does happen. And also being closer to the mountains, once again, as beautiful as it is, and it is freaking gorgeous. Not only is the weather more temperamental, but the weather's more extreme. So if it snows, the closer you are to the mountains, the more snow you're gonna get. So Westminster is gonna get more snow than Aurora typically. If it's windy, it's gonna be windier in Westminster than it would be in other parts of Denver. So being next to the mountains comes with a lot. It comes with beautiful views, which is amazing, but it also comes with more temperamental weather that can fluctuate more, and whatever weather is happening, you're gonna get more of it usually in Westminster, and this is the parts of Denver on the west side. If it's snowing, get more snow, windy, get more wind, etc., etc. Thing to know number 3 about Westminster is it's pretty much a large suburb. It's outside all the hot spots of the Denver area, what I mentioned, Golden, downtown Denver, Lodo, mountains, but once again you have access to it, but it's further away from the hot spots. It's a big suburb, so if you're looking for a place that you can strut out your house, go bar hopping in the cool downtown area, Westminster doesn't really offer that. What it does offer is a bit of more of a quiet suburb, except for this truck. Not that truck. Usually it's quieter than that, but what Westminster offers, he must be doing that to mess with me. Anyway, carrying on. Westminster is more quiet. Think suburb, but very, very big. So there is stuff to do here by all means, but once again, if you're looking for that place to go, get the crew together and have like a boys or girls night out and hit the cool local breweries and restaurants. Of course there's local restaurants, of course there's local breweries, but they're spread out. It's not easily walkable, this area. Once again, think this big suburb. Thing to know number 4, this might be 5, I lost track already, but yes, downtown Westminster, as I mentioned, we actually talked about this here, they're developing downtown Westminster. Over 10 million square feet of new buildings, new restaurants, new coffee shops, new breweries, which in my opinion is really needed in Westminster. We need some new youth here, some new energy coming in here. You can see they're building townhomes behind me here with restaurants and shops in the bottom level. These are condos and apartments on top of these shops and restaurants, coffee shops, breweries. As time goes on, there's going to be a lot more things to do in downtown Westminster, more tightly packed, which is a big, big plus. And last but not least, if you were all about that outdoor Colorado lifestyle, Westminster will serve you well because it has over 2,900 acres of parks, over 3,700 acres of outdoor space, adding in things like golf courses, and then over 120 miles of hiking trails in Westminster, and that is not even including the mountains, which are like 30 minutes away. So you have tons of outdoor things to do without even needing to get out into the mountains. So you can rock that Colorado lifestyle and not have to go into the mountains for it. But the mountains are nearby. Well, that concludes Things to Know Westminster Edition. That was like 4, 5, or 6, I think 5 or 6 things to know. I hope you found that helpful. Let's go on to places to go. Where should you go for an awesome cup of local coffee, for local food, and a local thing to do? Number 1 for coffee shop. This is one of the coolest coffee shops I've been in. I loved it when I walked in there. It was very like, oh my God, this is incredible. With Sweet Bloom's Coffee in downtown Westminster. It's actually right at the bottom of this, oh my God, my finger won't work, a building right there. I'm gonna let the video do the talking. It's like a mammoth. The ceilings are super high. It's very classy. The drinks are really good. Pretty expensive drinks, but this is the place that doesn't surprise you that the drinks are expensive. So definitely check out Sweet Blooms. What's cool about it is, once again, it's right in downtown Westminster, which is being developed right now. So while there's not a ton to do, as they're recording this video, they're gonna keep adding more and more things. So come get a cup of coffee at that Sweet Blooms, walk around downtown Westminster, see what's being developed, and that's a good way to start the day. Moving on from there, once you walk this area, have your cup of coffee, you want lunch, where do you go? You go to Early Bird for breakfast or brunch. Now, Early Bird was founded by local Coloradans it's a husband and wife who founded it. Super awesome, number 1. That husband and wife both individually are like world-renowned chefs, or like Colorado-renowned chefs, which is awesome, number 2. And they both were head chefs at different resorts, different spas, different high-end restaurants before they met, got married, and wanted to open up their own restaurant. And they named it Early Bird after their daughter, who was born prematurely, super healthy, everything like that. But they called her Early Bird, and now they call their restaurant Early Bird. If that is not awesome, awesome, awesome stories all around, it makes you want to support that type of local business. I don't know what would. So check that place out for breakfast or brunch. They do close early, like around 1, 2, or 3, maybe 4. I think 3 though. So definitely a breakfast or brunch spot. Last but not least, what is a fun local thing to do? You had your coffee, had your breakfast / brunch. Where do you go for fun? You go to the Butterfly Pavilion. They call themselves the world's first invertebrate zoo, where you get to interact with like spiders and lizards and snakes and walk into a room with a bunch of butterflies. It is a really, really fun way to spend the day. I don't care if you're 8 years old, 12 years old, or a grown man like myself, or a grown woman. That is a fun way to spend the day, being surrounded by butterflies. I promise you, you will have a smile on your face. Well guys, that concludes Things to Know, Places to Go. Let's top it off with some real estate fast facts. The real estate fast fact about Westminster, number 1, is that you can usually get larger lots in Westminster. Not all throughout, but overall you can get some bigger homes and bigger lots without paying those bigger homes and mansion price that you pay in other places. It's a lot more budget friendly to get a bigger home on a little bit more land. Fast fact number 2 is most of the homes are built in the 70s and 80s, so it's a little bit older aesthetic, but the homes are pretty well maintained for the most part. While there are a lot of renovations going on the inside of these homes, there's not a ton of scrapes, I would say. I haven't noticed a lot of them. And if you're not familiar with scrapes, that's where a developer will buy a house just for the land, tear the old house down, build up as something new, something modern, whatever the builder wants to build. That's a scrape. Buy a house, scrape it, build a new house. That's common on the west parts of Denver, because there's Denver and there's the mountains. We can't really build any more land in between them. So instead of going and trying to find a rare piece of land that has nothing on it, they'll just buy a house for the land, tear it down, and build something on top of it. Super common to have scrapes in Littleton. Really, really cool to see these old homes in the 1800s next to like these new modern border-esque mansions. Super common in Platt Park. For some reason, I don't see a lot of them in Westminster. They're there for sure. They're not as prevalent as in Littleton or Platt Park. Last but not least, fast fact number 3, Westminster has seen a hefty amount of appreciation in 2021. It saw 20% when the rest of Denver on average saw around 17.5. So Westminster got an extra 3%. In non-boring terms, non-realtor terms, what that means is Westminster is popular. If people didn't want to be in Westminster, the rest of Denver, while it saw 17.5, Westminster would have seemed less than that, indicating people don't want to be here. But the numbers show that Westminster is popular. People do like being here. People do like having access to Denver without being in it, access to Boulder without being in it, access to mountains without being in it. You're boom, right centrally located to go do a whole bunch of fun stuff, but you're able to get away to it too and be in your own little quiet suburb at the end of the day. If you find yourself taking notes on these things to know, places to go videos, I got you covered. I made a whole ebook where I break down all the communities in Denver and I give you the rundown on the things to know, places to go, and the real estate fast facts so you can find your perfect Denver community. You can download that. There's a link in the description. There's like 6 or 8 other free ebooks I've written to buy or sell homes here in Denver. So check those out. I guarantee you will find something for yourself. Guys, once again, Torrey Drake, Denver Realtor. I love Denver, I love Colorado, I love Colorado's Denverites, this area, and I would love to help you with any real estate needs that you may have. Yes, that was my self-serving pitch, but I really would love the opportunity to serve you. Please consider subscribing to the channel. I have a lot of these things to know, places to go, and other community tours coming up, and I do a lot of home tours on new construction home tours and highlight different new construction communities so you know the communities coming up in Denver. You can see the beautiful homes. So if you're into beautiful homes in Denver, you should subscribe. Guys, Torrey Drake, Denver Realtor. I love you guys. Have a great day.